Wait, let the people join.
Share the live, guys. Who's that? Is that Amir? Who's that?
Who is it?
Amir, you're a coward. You're a coward.
Look, there's...
This time with Good? Live is going.
No, it's saying test the mic. You can't hear well.
I'll just do it without the mic. Can you hear me? Can you hear?
This is slow internet.
Disconnect this and I'll just speak to the phone. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. How many people on the live?
131.
Cut it off and start again.
No, go ahead.
It's building.
Yeah, it's 142. Yeah.
Okay, everyone, if you're tuning in, we're here. Hana Mohammad for the We Invest in Nation-led political party, led by opposition leader in waiting, Azruddin Mohammad. We're here in Little Diamond, just off the Heroes Highway. Behind me is a small strip of government reserve, and directly behind that is privately owned property belonging to the opposition leader Azruddin Mohammad and his family. And what is happening here today is the result of a cruel and malicious act by the dictatorship government that is leading the country, where through a very malicious and cruel tactic, they have sent out an advertisement or an announcement through their propagandists on social media, telling vulnerable Guyanese citizens who they have not provided housing for to come here to the opposition leader's private residence to squat. So in a matter of hours, canters and machinery have arrived at this location, and there's been a work site set up. You can see plyboard and wood, zinc sheets, new zinc sheets and old zinc sheets, used wood. You can see millions of dollars in brand new equipment. The boxes, we're gonna walk over there and show you that the boxes are still there. Brand new equipment. There's saws, electric saws, weed whackers, generators, tools, sledgehammers, nails, lots of building materials. And what you're seeing here are what seems to be placeholders for the squatters. So they're marking off their territories where they're going to build their squatting houses on privately owned land. Behind these placeholders are more structures, which is directly on the property of the opposition leader, Azruddin Mohammad. Earlier today, we spoke with about 20 workmen, most of them barely speaking a word of English, and we were able to track down their employer. I don't know that I should release the name yet until I can confirm for sure, because I want to be credible even, no matter which political party you support, because I know Americans, I know certain parts of America, if you trespass on someone's private property, they can be shot. So this is very serious. This is not a joke, right? And I want the Guyanese, the international community, and the business community here in Guyana to realize that this could very well be your property that the government is instructing people to go squat on your private land. And I'm asking, is Guyana, are we really moving forward into a full-blown dictatorship? Is that what's happening here? When the opposition leaders' private land, which by the way was purchased, not acquired, was purchased under the PPP government when the Honorable Irfan Ali was the then Minister of Housing, and was paid for. I believe some of the payments were made. We have all the documentation to provide such when APNU was in power. And I can tell you it cost a pretty penny. It did not cost what the friends and family of the PPP are paying for prime state land. It cost a lot of money. And the Mohammeds paid for this land. So, again, I'm asking, are we slowly moving over into a dictatorship, into a dictatorial state? Is that what's happening here in Guyana? Because nowhere in the world can a government, through its agents and propagandists, send squatters whom they've elected to provide housing for on the opposition leaders' private family properties. Nowhere in the world can this happen. And so we're calling on the US, Canadian, and British authorities to look into this and to intervene and to understand and realize that these instances that are happening are creeping markers of dictatorship, where the young opposition leader, Asrin Mohammad, is yet to be elected, where the judiciary continues to be hounded for doing its job, where the government, through its corrupt agents and propagandists, are designing flyers and posting them on social media, encouraging vulnerable Guyanese whom they've neglected to provide housing for to come to the opposition leaders' private property and to squat. We were back there earlier, and some of the guys, again, they don't speak a word of English, lifted his shirt and brandished the firearm. But they can take away the weapons from the opposition leader. So I'm trying to understand. I'm really, dumbfounded and lost for words, because as days go by, we are losing our democracy here in Guyana. Now the government is trying to censor social media because the opposition is highlighting these massive corruption by the PPP ministers, by Susan Rodriguez, enriching herself with taxpayers' monies, by Zulfikar Mustafa, the Minister of Agriculture, building mansion upon mansion for himself, for his sons, and the others I won't mention until they're exposed.
You can let them know all the workers, they disappeared into the bush.
All the workers disappeared. They were all called off. I was here earlier today. I'm gonna release that video later on today. When I was here earlier speaking to the workers, these guys, they don't speak a word of English. They don't even know whom the property belongs to. They were just called here to do a job, to clear the land and to build these structures. So I'm just, and immediately after I identified myself and I told them, I explained to them that, you guys shouldn't be here because this strip is government reserve, but directly behind is private property. And even the government reserves, squatters are not encouraged to come to the government reserve. But the PPP is encouraging them. the PPP is encouraging vulnerable Guyanese, again, whom they've neglected to provide housing for, to come here to squat here. And after I identified myself, within minutes they received a phone call and they just walked off the site. They dumped the tools, immediately they left.
That's what they just did now.
And they just did it now again, because there were some of the work guys who were not here when I spoke to them, because they were weeding, and those were just called off, and those just left.
You could show them this is their boss's car here.
So this is the boss's car right there, the white. I'm gonna
just pause the video.
Yeah, this is the boss's car, PAG 9400, a white Toyota.
Toyota Crown, and he just drove by very slowly at the beginning of this live.
So, I'm going to be posting more updates on this, because we're following this closely.
And show them the structure in the back there. It's on private property.
Yeah, we're going to just, if you want to stay on the live, I'm going to show you. So all of this is building material. As you can see, brand new building material. These are brand new plyboard and wood, zinc sheets, sand, and back there, I got my feet muddy, but back there, used zinc sheets and wood and brand new tools, millions of dollars. So the PPP can find money, to do their mischief on private property and the opposition leaders' property. To buy generators and weed whackers and electric saws and tools and sledgehammers and building materials. But they can't use the same money and the same materials to build them homes, build them housing on land that isn't private land, on land that isn't the opposition leaders' land. These guys here, the squatters.
No, they're not squatters.
Oh, they're not? Those are workers? Oh.
Those are all the workmen. But they're saying they're here for a piece of land. Those are all workmen.
Oh, they're workmen.
Don't go over there, right?
No, I'm not going to get them because...
Come, we're going to drive over there.
By the way, I have an update for you on... You want to get in the car?
The house they're building over there. We're going to drive there, yeah. Yeah.
So this structure, I can't get in there?
No, you can't get in there.
Okay, so this structure is, that structure that you see there, that's directly on Azruddin Mohammed's land, and there is more of them. The workers downed their tools and they left. They were instructed to leave.
And they're weeding on the property.
And they're weeding on the property to clear more land to build more squatting structures. So again, we're calling on the authorities. I don't know which authorities to call on, because the police force is manipulated. It's very evident that some members of the judiciary are also manipulated. And this is the political persecution and targeting that is happening here in Guyana of the opposition leader in waiting, Azruddin Mohammed, by the corrupt and dictatorship PPP government, where they are, if you're just tuning in, where they're through their agents, their corrupt cohorts and agents and propagandists, sending vulnerable Guyanese to come and squat on private land belonging to the opposition leader, Azrin Mohammad. And so we're calling on the authorities, we're calling on the international community, we're calling on the media, the local media and the international media to report on these issues, where democracy is being stifled here in Guyana, and where it seems the opposition leader has no rights even to his own land and properties. I see a lot of people watching here, a lot of people that remain very, very silent in the face of all of this oppression. You know, it's time you guys speak up. I have never seen something like this in my life. You know, I've lived in the United States for 17 years, and this, I know for sure, could never fly in the United States. This would never be allowed. You cannot trespass on private property in the United States. You would be shot. This is in Little Diamond, just off the Heroes Highway. I'm walking back over there. So for everyone tuning in, hi, good afternoon. So for everyone tuning in, this is Hana Mohammad from the We Invest in Nationhood political party, led by opposition leader in waiting, Azrin Mohammad. And we're here at Little Diamond, just off the Heroes Highway, at property belonging to the opposition leader, Azrin Mohammad, where the dictatorship and corrupt PPP government, through its wicked agents and propagandists, have there's some people there now, I see, have sent out an announcement, a flyer, encouraging vulnerable Guyanese citizens whom they've neglected to provide housing for, whom they've neglected to provide housing for, to the opposition leader's private property to squat. And again, these are vulnerable Guyanese citizens who otherwise have no place to go. And of course, you know, if they see an announcement for free land, especially prime land just off the Heroes Highway, they're gonna come. They're gonna respond to that announcement. And as you can see, building materials, wood. I'll show you. There's brand new building equipment and materials. You can still see the boxes right here. You know, they have money for this. The PPP has money for this, but not money for the cash grants, the promised cash grants. There's sledgehammers, there's saws, there's generators, there electric saws, there are weed whackers, cutlasses, hammers, brand new hammers and nails. You know, these guys, they're just workmen. They don't even speak a word of English. I'm sure they're not even documented. They're just called here to do a job. They said they were hired by Amir Ahmed, sheriff.
So y'all just don't worry, Eugene. problem. You understand? Paramos y empezamos a ver qué. Vamos para. Espera que vengan ellos.
Oh, this one here, the boss? I don't know that guy. No, he's not here? Who the boss?
El jefe que no.
Jefe.
Yo no conozco.
I don't know who
I don't know.
No. So, as the owners of the land, the owners of the property, the Mohammeds and opposition leader Azrin Mohammed has every right to take down these structures illegally built on his land. Again, nowhere in the world will this be allowed to happen. And it's very concerning that, organizations that are supposed to stand for democracy are still silent in the face of all of this political persecution and oppression of the opposition leader here in Guyana. Now, we're calling on CARICOM, on the Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett, on the representative from United Nations here in Guyana, on the diplomatic missions and all the ambassadors residing here on our shores, housed by taxpayers' money, eating and shopping in our supermarkets, to intervene and to speak up and to realize that these are creeping markers of dictatorship by the corrupt and dictatorship PPP government.
Yeah.
So, if you're still on the live and you want to stick around, I'm going to show you now a whole busload of workers just arrived here. No, these, y'all come to work or y'all come to... Hey. Who are they? They're workers?
Yeah, he's the boss. So what is all this? Because they're weeding on our property, they're building something back here as well.
Squatting homes you're building. Okay, so who gave you the instruction to do this?
I don't know. The people bring the
Everybody's saying they don't know, and the people, we need a name.
I get conscious like
Are you Nick?
Yeah, you see one?
Yeah, he's the boss.
He's the boss.
Yeah.
He said that they came here to build squatting homes.
Well, this was saying, I get called just like everybody else to come and build up the yard.
And you don't know who called you? You have a phone number? So how are you getting paid?
When we done, they come and pay.
So you bringing guys to work and you and collecting money first?
No, when we done work, we get the pay.
No, he's Guyanese. So you're not aware anything about this property?
No, I don't know nothing.
So you guys are hearing this, right? What's your name? Paul is saying that he was told to come here to bring his workmen here to build squatting homes. How many workmen they asked you to bring here?
I got a boss.
Did they tell you how much of the land to clear?
Where
And
did they tell you to clear to?
No, well, it's supposed to occupy how much the materials.
because
I know coming.
because a lot of these structures are past the government reserve and into private property. Yes. And you cannot build on private property, and you also cannot build squatting structures on government reserve either.
Bring it forward up.
Well, everything should be broken down. This is
This is a government.
a government reserve, not a squatting area.
So I got to talk to these other guys who come to do it.
They brought. They
There's some
hired a
guys
bunch of
before us.
people.
Yeah.
I want to know who is paying you.
When we finish working, the person will come up here.
Isn't name Amir Ahmad? Because he was here this morning.
I don't know.
Amir was here this morning. Just passed by again.
I don't know that people do work without getting paid, though. That's a little
I don't know who's Amir. I don't know.
So who will come when you're finished working to pay you?
The person who's contracting.
Who is that?
I don't know the guy.
So how would you know who's
I'm the
paid
trans.
from?
I'm the transportation
How
guy.
would you know who you have to collect your money from? How would you know that?
This is some big illegal business. If you don't know who's
So we gotta get down to the whole business, and then you are gonna get the answer. I don't have no answer as to who doing what, who owns
So
it.
how
you know who
getting
coming?
paid to do this? How much? You must know that
We
before you
supposed to
start
get
the
at least
job.
$10,000.
$10,000 a month?
Per person. Wow. So you guys see what the PPP is doing with taxpayers' money on land belonging to the opposition leader, Azruddin Mohammad. They're using, yes, they're using taxpayers' money.
I hope me going up or not.
You're live, my friend. You are live. You're live.
So just you put me on live without asking me, right?
Just so you come and bill on my land without asking?
I don't know nothing about that. I don't know whose land it is.
You have a phone number?
I don't have that.
See? No, nothing.
Yeah.
I can't say because as it is, you just got me on live for nothing.
No, if you genuinely don't know.
Exactly.
So you just pick up these guys in like Sapphire or something?
Yeah.
You don't know them. You just went and say y'all want to work
No,
for
I
the
know
day?
them.
Or you know
I
them?
know that.
Because some of them are very aggressive. They're brandishing. One of the guys back there had a firearm. You know about this?
No, I don't know.
One of the guys
What
back
does
there
this
has a firearm.
mean? I don't know.
He brandished a firearm
Come with this boss? With this boss?
back there.
No, not with this
No,
boss.
not with this boss. This boss
Okay,
different.
No,
so then
it's
those
two
two sets of workmen.
Two sets of workmen.
Okay.
Exactly. We come, the only weapon we got is cutlass for weed, the bush. This is how we know about.
So guys, you see what's going on here in Guyana in this full-blown dictatorship by the PPP government. I'm coming in the shade here, guys. So as you can see, more than 20 workmen are currently here at the work site. Someone is asking to bring the police. What's the police gonna do? The PPP controls the police. Guys, if you're following along, for those who have just joined the live, I'm gonna switch the camera. For those of you who have just joined the live, Hana Mohammad here for the We Invest in Nationhood political party, led by opposition leader Azruddin Mohammad. And I'm here at Little Diamond, just off the Heroes Highway. And behind me is a small strip of government reserve. And directly behind that is private property belonging to the opposition leader, Azruddin Mohammad. Property which was not acquired, which was purchased in 2015, nearly 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago, nearly 10 years ago, and paid for during the APNU government. And I can tell you that it was a pretty penny. It was not inexpensive. It was quite costly, not the prices that the friends and the family members of the PPP pay for prime state lands. And it's fully paid for, and the opposition leader Azrin Mohammad has all his documents to prove such. There are more than 20 workmen here today, and there was another crew earlier in the day and last night as well, to build what this gentleman here, right here, this guy just explained to us, are squatting homes for Guyanese citizens, vulnerable Guyanese, whom the PPP has neglected to provide housing for, and through their wicked cohorts and propagandists have encouraged these vulnerable Guyanese to come here to the opposition leader's private land to squat. So I'm calling on the local media, the international media, the human rights organizations in Guyana, if any of them are not defunct, the United Nations here in Guyana, the CARICOM Secretary General here in Guyana, the diplomatic missions residing here in Guyana, housed by taxpayers, well, the CARICOM Secretary General housed by taxpayers, to intervene and to speak up against these malicious acts by the dictatorship government that is the PPP. So I've been live for a long time, and I know that the Guyana police force is fully aware, but no police has arrived here yet. So all of these structures that you see, all of these structures are placeholders for squatters, marking their territory. And they have instructions to clear the entire land and to use the building materials provided to build as many squatting structures as possible. And I'm asking fair-minded Guyanese and everyone watching the live, if this is right, and if this is something that we should accept. You know, the PPP has money. They have access to money to do these vindictive and wicked acts with taxpayers' money. But they could use this very money, they could use these very building materials to actually build homes for the these vulnerable Guyanese. You know, and we're not blaming these guys. These are just workmen looking for work, for a day's work. I don't have you guys on camera. I have it on me. These guys are just looking for work. You know, they were promised $10,000 a day to come here and to work. So we don't blame them. They're just coming here to work. But is this democracy?
We can't get no 10,000 for coming away from work.
Oh, you need more? That's right. That's right. They said they need more, by the way, Irfan. 10,000 isn't enough for them. They need more. So take care of them, right? Take care of them the same way you guys take care of yourselves. So Over there behind me, it's another crew of workmen. So, and also some squatters. So guys, again, if you just joined the live, if you're now tuning in, we're here at Little Diamond, just off the Heroes Highway. That's the Heroes Highway right there. Where the corrupt and dictatorship PPP government is paying crews of workmen. This is a crew behind me here of more than 20 work guys, and then there's another crew over there of workmen to build what they explained to us is squatting homes, and they would be paid no less than $10,000 a day. But the guys are they're not content with the 10,000, so you guys are gonna have to pay them more. And the PPP has provided building materials, zinc sheets, sand, wood, plyboard, and brand new tools, electric saws, weed whackers, to complete the job. All on taxpayers' expense. So that's what's happening here, and it's not just on government reserve, but also on the opposition leaders, Azrin Mohammed's private property, which is illegal, and which everyone, regardless of which political party you support or if you're apolitical, will agree is unacceptable. And that nowhere in the world is anyone allowed to squat on private property, and much less with the instruction and the encouragement of the governing party. All right, so I'll tune in again with another update. I think the guys are leaving. They're loading up into the buses to leave.
They're probably instructed to leave and come back.
I think they were instructed to leave and come back. I don't know, but this is, you know, you guys need to start speaking up. You guys really need to start speaking up, because Guyana is slowly becoming a dictatorship state. And anyway, Happy New Year, everybody.